Hi there. Today I want to talk about something that I rarely, if ever, talk about. That is Bitcoin. Now, I've been involved in Bitcoin since the very early days, and I don't really like to talk about it publicly. But recently, I found this device. I was online on some social media site or whatever, and I saw somebody talking about mining Bitcoin from home, and that got my attention. And this little device here is currently attempting to mine Bitcoin for me. Now, it's not going to be very successful, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But you can go on to websites. There's various websites that sell these little devices. This is currently plugged into my computer using a USB cable for power. So it's not, there's no fan on this. It's not noisy at all. And it is attempting to solve the Bitcoin equation. And so maybe I'll get lucky during this video in the next 5 or 6 minutes and I will hit Bitcoin, but probably not. Anyways, in this video, I'm going to talk about mining Bitcoin from home, specifically these lottery miners, they're called, or lucky miners, and give you the truth about the mathematics behind the chances of winning the lottery. We'll also talk a little bit about Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining. First, you might say, Scott, what are you talking about Bitcoin for? You know nothing about Bitcoin. Well, I kind of, maybe I don't know anything about Bitcoin, but in May 16th, 2011, I bought one, my first one. I do have more than one, but my first one that I bought was May 2011. So that's pretty early on. That price there, 89,000, is the current price of Bitcoin. That was not the price, of course, I bought it for. When I bought it in May 2011, Bitcoin was trading for $6.75 on that particular day. As you can see, it spiked up to north of $25 within about a month, and then came back down, and you could have bought it for as low as $2.50 later that year. And so these were the early roller coaster days of Bitcoin. But I think I can say I got in pretty early. You can see if I got in just a month prior, I would have owned it at less than $1. So that to me is how I started with Bitcoin. So I should talk about Bitcoin mining in general. We may know what a Bitcoin is, or that there's these digital tokens that we can split up into millions and billions of pieces, and we can trade with each other. They can't be copied. They can't be forged. And so if I send you a fraction of a Bitcoin, then that Bitcoin is out of my control. There's no way for me to return it, to get it back, and it's in your control. And that's what makes it a digital form of currency, is that there's only 21 million of them. There will never be 22 million of them. And basically, they can't be copied or forged. To enforce this, there is a network of computers around the world, hundreds of thousands, millions of computers that are currently trying to solve this Bitcoin equation. And when they do, they get rewarded for solving it. They also process all those transactions and get little fees from that. But that process of millions of computers trying to solve this is what keeps the network secure. It's secured by the nodes, effectively. So Bitcoin mining, anyone can do it. You can run a program on your computer today to mine a Bitcoin. You could buy a little device like this and mine a Bitcoin, but it really does need specialized equipment nowadays. It's not something that anyone should be able to do. For instance, this is a specialized equipment. It's called an Antminer. It's a couple of years old, the S21. They're now got I believe the S23 is out, and S24 is coming out in a couple months. So you can buy these. These are called ASICs. These are very specialized pieces of equipment. The only thing it does is try to solve Bitcoin. And you can see it's a bunch of fans on there. Obviously, this thing is fast and powerful. To show you how powerful it is, this Antminer S21 tries to solve 200 terahashes per second. That means that it's trying to solve this Bitcoin equation 200 trillion times a second. That is a lot. And it currently sucks in 3,550 watts of power. So it is way more power using than your computer, than your fridge, than your stove, than your microwave. This, if you ever to get this device on your home, this sucks in so much power. So at 3,500 watts, that's a lot of power. To give you an example, you look at the electricity graph on the right side of the screen. It is using approximately $8.50 or €8.50 of power per day, or 250 euros per month, or about $300 a month in power at my electricity rates. And so your mileage may vary, but this device uses a lot of power, uses more power than the rest of my house. I think it would be a fair, because my bill is not $250 a month. You can buy this device if it's something that interests you. You can see that it runs around 2,300 euros or 2,700 US dollars to buy it used. It's a couple of years old. So this just gives you an idea. You can buy these devices. Anyone can buy them. Running them from home probably doesn't make sense, because you are expected, if mathematical odds, you can be lucky and you can be unlucky, but you're expected to make about 180 euros a month in profits, and it will cost you 250 euros a month in power. So this is a money losing purchase if I was to purchase this and run this from my house. Now, one thing you might expect is the cost of Bitcoin to go up. And so if you think the cost of Bitcoin is going to double from this level, maybe this is going to be long-term profitable. This is one way to get Bitcoin without purchasing Bitcoin, is to mine it. Although you may be better off just going out and purchasing Bitcoin if that is your belief, as opposed to trying to mine it. So Bitcoin mining, right, like I tried to say here, is generally difficult to be profitable. This device is a couple of years old. It's a Antminer S21 as an example. You would expect within the next so many months that the profitability of that device goes down and down and down. As Bitcoin price goes up, as the difficulty goes up, the value of this individual miner goes down. So it's actually, you're going to pay less for it the longer you wait, but it's also going to make you less money. As I saw, it's actually a money-losing device at my power rates. Now, there are people that can run this profitably. They live next to the power plant. They use solar power. They don't pay for the power, or they have other ways of getting power that's less than, let's say, 10 cents a kilowatt hour. Then you could run that device profitably. At retail rates, without massive discounts, it might be very difficult. So that means taking that device into your house, it's not going to be profitable. Now, in your house, it's also got other problems. For one, these machines can be noisy. You saw how many fans that thing has. Those fans may not be the quietest fan ever. And so you walk into a room with 5 or 6 of those devices, it's going to sound like 50 fans are blowing, and there's a sound to that.
Inside our crypto mining shed, we'll test it out right in the middle of our intake.
They also produce heat, and so you may need additional cooling to that room, or have stuff being sucked out, air being sucked out of the room into the outside, and there's going to be additional costs. You can't run this in an area where you want your family to be because of the noise, so you run it in the basement or in the garage and other places. So there are various logistical challenges of using that device at home. So what that led me to do is when I discovered that you can actually mine Bitcoin from home without that type of device, is a device like this. So this is it's a copy of a device called a Nerd Miner, but this is a Chinese device. I purchased it on Alibaba, and you can see that it's actually attempting to mine Bitcoin right this second, and there's no sound, there's no fans on this thing. This is actually a fairly generic board that with an LCD. And so the software that's running on here, if this doesn't work out, someday I could find out other things of using this for. It's got Wi-Fi access. It's got a chip that can be reprogrammed and an LCD screen, and it just runs on a regular USB cable. So very versatile device that this case has been used for mining Bitcoin. One of the great features, it just shows the time. So I don't have a clock in this room, but I do have a Bitcoin mining device that has the time on it. It also shows me the current price. And so I can see throughout the day when it hits 90, 91, and goes down to 88, and it gives me sort of a feeling for the temperature of the Bitcoin without even having to look it up on the computer. So this is this device. Now, you might think this is called a lottery miner or a lucky miner if you're searching for it. And the reason it's called a lottery miner is because you have to be extremely lucky in order to actually mine any Bitcoin. So Bitcoin solo mining is an all or nothing type of operation. This device is competing with millions of other devices around the world that are way more powerful than this in order to find that Bitcoin. So it's almost like an ant competing against professional athletes. Maybe that's a tough analogy, but it's kind of, this is such a tiny device that it's got no chance against these big, like the ant miner that I showed you. To give you an example, this device right now, I can see this, the screen says 1031, 1039. It's running at 1000 kilohashes per second. It cost me about $20 to purchase this. The ant miner that I showed you that cost $2,700 runs at 200 terahashes per second. We saw that. So that device, the ant miner, is not 200,000 times more powerful. It's 200 million times more powerful. And that's a number that is very hard to fathom. 200 million times more powerful. It's 100 times more expensive or 150 times more expensive, but 200 million times more powerful. So if you plug all of this, now there's all of these ant miners and all these devices around the world are, it's called the network, right? The Bitcoin network. The power of the Bitcoin network is measured in zettahashes, which is, you've got terahashes and petahashes and all, exahashes. Zettahashes is a number, it's hard to really fathom how much power is being generated worldwide. This roughly translates to this little device has a 1 in 7 quadrillion chance, 1 in 7 quadrillion in a particular day, in a 24-hour day, of finding a Bitcoin when it's solo mining. That means that if the odds was to work out, 7.3 quadrillion, 20 billion years it would take. 20 billion years. The whole universe, the known universe, is around 12 billion years old. And so, and our sun is, I think our sun is something like 10 billion years old. So this device is going to need more time than the entire known history of the universe has already happened in order to find a Bitcoin. So it's called lottery or lucky, but I don't know what you would define the word lucky if it's a 1 in 7 quadrillion chance. I saw something said it was like winning, to find a Bitcoin in a day is like winning the Powerball 2,000 times. So that US Powerball, which is the big lottery, you really do need a massive amount of luck. I imagine winning the Powerball once is kind of hard to fathom. Winning it twice is almost impossible to fathom, but winning it thousands of times, forget about it, if, as they say in New York. So this device currently, according to the website, uses 0.89 watts of power. So if you run the math on this, and I tried to put this into a calculator, the relevant bit is it costs about 11 cents per month, 11 euros cents per month to run this. So not very much, but it's still, it's still 11 cents. 11 cents is 11 cents, right? It's still a euro per year to run this with almost no chance, really no chance of finding a Bitcoin. So I'm just wasting a euro a year for no reason. So really, that's my point. My point is these things, they're enticing. It's a lottery ticket. It really is a lottery ticket. but the chances of actually catching a Bitcoin, finding a Bitcoin successfully are, again, like winning the Powerball 2,000 times or what have you in a day. So that is just not going to happen. I might unplug this, probably will, but it was fun. It's fun to dream. It's fun to dream. It's fun to think this thing could produce something. One Bitcoin is worth 90,000 US dollars, right? So the current Bitcoin reward is 3.125 Bitcoins. So if it does find a block, then this thing will have given me 270,000 US dollars roughly, or 280,000 roughly US dollars. So it is fun to dream that this could generate $280,000. But again, 20 billion years in order to do that according to the odds. And so that's impossible. Anyways, it's fun talking about Bitcoin every once in a while. I'm not going to do it too often on this channel, but I got this little thing. I thought it was fun. It's sort of a fun thing to explore, but really it's not going to ever be profitable. And I just have to accept that. Hope you're doing good. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, thoughts. Am I destroying humanity with my little 0.89 watt experiment? Let me know. But hope you're having a great day, and see you again.